First your eyes.
Mr. President, I have a unanimous consent request, but I want to explain to the body exactly what we're doing before I make that request.
Proceed.
Members of the Senate, Mr. President, we have a strike and insert amendment sponsored by myself and the Senator from Charleston, Senator from Campson, and it combines all the amendments that were on the desk into one strike and insert amendment on the bill. It is amendment number P31A. Mr. President, I have a unanimous consent request that we go to amendment P31A.
Request is to go to Amendment P31A. Is there objection? Hearing no objection.
Mr. President.
We'll go to P31A.
Mr. President, I'd like to be heard on amendment P31A.
Senators recognized on Amendment P31A. Mr. Bryant.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Members of the Senate, I want to explain exactly what Amendment P31A does. It should be available on the desk if you'd like a printed copy, or you may be able to pull it up on your laptop. It does 5 things. The first thing the bill does, the bill was originally written to require the actual refugee to enroll with DSS. This amendment changes that to the sponsor of the refugee will enroll with DSS, and the Department of Social Services within 30 days shall send that enrollment information to the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. And I can briefly go over all 5 items of this amendment, or I can take questions on either one.
Senator from Richland, what purpose do your eyes serve?
The senator from Anderson, yield for a question.
Yield for
Yes,
a
sir.
question.
By the way, did you let your family up in the gallery know about your half-brother who is a liberal Jewish Democrat? Mom and Daddy, y'all see me?
Mr. President, if I could make a point of personal interest right quick.
Senators recognized.
And the pastor.
Mr. President, with me retaining the floor on this amendment, I'd like to take a point of personal interest. Mr. President, members of the Senate, I want Mama to know that the senator from Richland, Senator Lourie, he refers to me as his right-wing brother from another mother. And I also have a term from my good friend from Richland. He is my bestest leftist friend forever.
Absolutely.
Thank you for bringing that up, Senator from Richland.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mom and Pop. I'll be home for dinner.
Senator from Richland, it's Ani and Pops.
Ani and Pops. Thank you.
You
Just
can
make sure that my last name is Lourie, and when you redo your will, it's Lourie. Okay.
Senator from Richland, you are welcome to eat at Ani's table at any time. There's one rule.
No pork.
When you get, she'll accommodate you on whatever diet you want, but the one rule that Ani has is you have to hug the cook when you're done eating. I'm sure you'll be fine with that.
I would love to do it. And you should be very proud. Senator Bryant and I have known each other for 12 years. We don't always agree, but we're very good friends, and we've had the pleasure to work together on a lot of issues. So you should be very proud of him. Senator, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
On this DSS registration, so they would be registered with DSS. Are they currently registered with DSS now?
They are currently enrolled with DSS. The
Okay.
language in the bill is enroll.
But there's no public information available.
We're going to get to that. The amendment will strike the section that would make that public. There was some language that would put that on the internet, and this amendment will strike that part of the bill. But the refugees will be enrolled with the Department of Social Services, and the reason why we need DSS to get this information to the State Law Enforcement Division is the head of SLED has told us he's not comfortable with the information he's getting from the federal government. So the intentions of the bill is to ask DSS, which they're agreeable, to coordinate this information with SLED, which they are agreeable. That's the first thing that this amendment does.
Do you know whether they have information about people that are here from other countries on work visas or student visas? Do we require?
This legislation doesn't involve work visas or student visas or green cards or anything like that. The whole legislation only applies to refugees through the federal refugee program.
Okay, all right, but do you think that because clearly there have been extreme acts of terror committed by people that have come here on work visas, like 9/11, should we make this all encompassing? I mean, if we're going to have an anti-terrorism bill, should we really maybe broaden it some? Would you support an amendment that would maybe let SLED allow to know who is in our state from another country?
Senator, if you would like to work on an amendment to include all the others, I would be more than happy to support that. This amendment does not do that. This amendment is only in the federal refugee program.
And you would not in any way assume I'm trying to kill your bill by contaminating it with such an amendment, would you?
Senator, sometimes we're together on issues, and sometimes we're at each other's throats on issues.
We've never been at each other's throats.
Well, sometimes it's gotten pretty testy.
Yeah.
But that's all good. Sometimes we agree, and sometimes we agree to disagree.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator from Richland.
Senator from Richland, what purpose do you rise, sir?
Would the senator you for a question?
Yes, sir, I would.
Senator, I've got my best behavior on because you got your parents here today. Just,
And Senator, if you come eat with us, you know the rule. You got to
yes, sir. I don't have a problem with that. Question. I'm trying to figure out in my own mind, why would we register with a service agency